Hi, it's Hazel, and welcome to my channel, Hazel Anaka Design. As promised, I am doing part 2 of this huge antiquarian book purchase that I made through auction a few months ago. I I did part 1 the other day, and of course, this is the remainder of the collection. Now, I'll mention that when I get to it, I guess. So, again, I forgot my ruler. We are talking about, in case you missed, then I suggest you go back if you're a book lover. If you missed that video, what I was saying there was that some of these books were special enough that they were sold individually. Like one book made up a lot. And in other cases, if the books were in poorer condition or maybe had lesser value, then a bunch of them were grouped together. And, you know, you have to buy them as they sell them. Okay, so this first one has a lovely cover, great spine. I mean, this little bit here is nothing. The Essays of Elia by Charles Lamb. Hey, Charles Lamb. I wonder if that's the guy who, with his wife, illustrated a number of books. I'm just trying to remember which ones they were. Oh, look at that. His monogram here. Top and bottom. And then the title of the book is there. I didn't notice that before. Anyway, this one is nearly 9 by 6. Now, I should also, okay, someone has written there 1902. So I should actually have a pencil ready so that I can add the year to the papers, because sometimes it's a search and a half. Oh, this is promising. So it's sort of that little protective, almost like onion skin thing that they use to protect plates. You can see a lot of foxing going on. I also like, yeah, 1902. And this says illustrated by A. Garth Jones. So that's another good indication that there will be image. Oh, long list of illustrate. Oh, I can see why I wanted this. So let's start at the back here, because that seems to be the most convenient way to, oopsie, to flip. And, oh, lovely deckled edge. Excuse me. So this is a book of essays. So, of course, I haven't read any. I find that some of this old writing is very, you know, the language is a bit archaic. Spelling is very unusual. And frankly, I don't have much time to read, period. That's lovely. And, but this almost looks like maybe it's, because it's essays, it could be opinion, it could be satire. And of course, because these books don't have that little fairy there, because these books don't have dust jackets with author bios or anything, you're kind of left at the mercy of maybe an introduction. Let's see if we can figure, okay, introduction. It just seems to me that maybe, how many Charles Lambs could there be? Oh, maybe there isn't. Maybe this isn't the guy. He was born in 1775. Anyway, I'm obviously not going to read that. But the book is lovely. Okay, And again, I'm faced with, I didn't finish putting away all the other books from yesterday's video, and here I am needing to make more piles. Okay, this one is called Susanna and Sue. Interesting cover. I just realized that those are cobs of corn. Cool spine. Heavy little book. Have you ever noticed how some books, and this hasn't been damaged, 8 3/4 by 5 3/4. Have you ever noticed how some books are either surprisingly heavy or surprisingly lightweight based on, you see a book of a certain size and you think, oh, that's going to be, you have an expectation. And then you find out it's totally the opposite. This is beautiful. Lovely. Is that the same? Yes, that's the same picture there. Oh, N.C. Wythe did some of the illustrations. Somebody stamped something there. Not sure that was the best place to put it, people, but hey, 1909. Oh, and look at it's got the, it's got those borders, top and bottom. I hope there was more to this than just that in the way of illustrations. And those interesting pages with the different fonts that you usually find at the back of these old books. There's a guy with a walking plow and a couple of oxen. So I wonder, is that going to be the extent of the illustrations? Beautiful little farmyard. Maybe that is all. Oh, there's another one. Okay, we'll see. That could very well be. And it's nice when they are different. Like, in other words, they don't keep repeating the same illustration from chapter to chapter. Love Manifold. Oh, that's how thick that paper is. Wow. Okay, so it looks like it's those little, but of course they're beautiful. They're tiny, but they're beautiful. Oh, here's a bigger one. Susanna sat in the corner beside the aged Tabitha. Guess the person would have to read the story to know the significance of that. Sorry, I haven't taken the time to look through these books myself after getting them home. So I'm just as curious as you are, well, maybe more so, because it was my money, to see what I actually got for my money. Oh my goodness, sorry about this. It looks like it's going to be limited to, do they list? Oh, illustration. So frontispiece, which is this one, 12. Oh, that's beautiful. 112. So that's the one we saw there. And then 130. Cool. Okay. Kind of promised myself I wouldn't linger as much as I did last time. Honestly, after this video, I have a massage this afternoon. We're going to beat up my shoulder again, I guess. Sandy Carmyle, Cutliff J. Hine. I need to clean this room so badly. I keep losing things. that I need to find. Fat little book. Look at the black, what would you call these? What is this? Oh, nice big book plate. Oh, second prize awarded to Philip Croft for proficiency. We don't know what the proficiency was in, but hey. July 1912. Very definite, visible foxing. Illustrated, always a good sign. Military type. Printed by Hazel, 2 L's, Watson and Viney in London. This, considering what, this is almost proves my point. So this looks like it's going to be, you know, your typical masculine illustrations. The paper is quite, I don't know why, well, let me finish one sentence before starting another. This, considering its thickness, this book is fairly light. This paper has, feels nice, and it's thick and in good condition. Did we ever find a date in this one, by the way? Anyway, what I was going to ask is, I wonder why illustrators felt that they had to do the most, sort of the goriest or the most action oriented illustrations. Like there's a club and a guy lying on the ground. Carrying him like something on a spit. I would say that this was probably part of a lot because I don't know that I would have bought this for these illustrations. However, the pages themselves are lovely. And those illustrations could be disguised in a collage. Oh, Sandy, cover your eyes. That involves some sheep. Did we find a date on this or not? Oh, again, that's a good way to find the illustrations. Look for the list of illustrations. Well, maybe that's the indication we get. Yeah, nice book. Okay. This is a beaut, but of course, it comes in 3 pieces. This is so, oh, and this is the same thing that I noticed the other day. This beveled, beveled edge on this cover. These are so heavy. So add a new spine, and you've got a gorgeous book. And this is leather. Now, I did, yeah, the other book that I took apart, I did start taking some books apart after that last video. And the other one that had this sort of, I should have learned what the word is, but anyway, these ribs, excuse me, these ribs on the spine had a very interesting binding. 1858 is when that guy wrote his name. Had a very interesting binding that I have never seen before. This is Washington Irving. Prose Writers of America. Joseph Story. 1857. Wow. Illustrated with portraits from original pictures. a survey of the intellectual history, condition, and prospects of the country. Everything sounded so darn serious back in the day. And now you can, I'm sorry, and now you can stroll down the aisles of a bookstore and find that every second title has the F word, sort of taken out of it, or, modified. Entered according to Act of Congress in the year 1846. Wow. This were, okay, is respectfully inscribed. Anyway, I was trying to see if this book has the same binding system, because, oh, look at the size of that font. Oh my goodness. This is the size of font you see on the sides of pill bottles. So those are the illustrations. Portrait of Washington Irving, Joseph Stewart, blah, 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 blah. So these are all basically headshots of guys. Can feel this. I wonder if this could very well be rag paper. Anyway, 1847. What I was trying to do when I took that other book apart was remove the spine. Oh, it's kind of crumbling. In its entirety, this is the headband, this little woven piece here. Uh-oh. I shouldn't be doing this on camera. Anyway, and of course, all it did was crumble, because in addition to the, in that other book, in addition to the normal, strings you would see, there was a set way, like, close to the bottom and close to the top in another color. It was done in red. And that almost seemed to be helping hold that spine together or whatever. Oh, gilt edges. So I think, yeah, I would say this is definitely rag paper, because you can feel the text. So beautiful paper. Incidentally, what I decided when I started taking a couple of those books apart that didn't really have a lot going for them in the way of illustrations, but they had beautiful rag paper. I will be putting together packets of rag paper that I will list both in my Etsy shop and have available at my monthly live sale. So I think this one will probably join. I'll take some pages out of here as well, but it would be so nice if a person could salvage that. Okay, let me keep moving here. It's not often you see a protective cover. That's like acetate. Scott's Poems by Robert Ferguson. Now, there's something missing there on the spine. I don't know, that's gobbledygook. Again, deckled pages, and look at the variation in page length. So I would say this was another one that was probably just in part of a lot, and I ended up with it because of that. Let's hope we can find a date. Of this edition, 550 copies consecutively numbered have been printed in Great Britain on mold-made paper, of which 500 copies are for sale, and this one is $4.40. So mold-made paper means handmade. So it says 1925, and it says faithfully reprinted from the weekly magazine and editions of 1773 and 1779. Faithfully reprinted. So this is obviously rag paper as well. Some decorative elements there. Now, because it's poetry, it will be yeah, on you need you know, like on when you're watching Netflix and it's a foreign language, you need closed captioning. Well, I think a person needs that here as well. It appears to be English, but honestly, half those words are nonsensical. So yes, this is definitely a book to take apart and share the paper. So I'm glad I'm doing this because it allows me to make up more, whatchamacallit, add more variety. Now these books, didn't really want to show these next, but the way I've stacked this house of cards here beside me. Okay, this is huge. It is 10 3/4 by a little over 8 and 2-inch spine. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And again, we see the unevenness. How do we look? Oh, that's pretty uniform there. This paper, I wish you could feel it. No date there. 1929. This is in some sort of a... Trying to figure out what that is. The Duke of Clarence Memorial. Oh my goodness. The Duke of Clarence Memorial, Albert Chapel, St. George's, Windsor, from the Southwest. By gracious permission of His Majesty the King. 40 plates in photogravure. Illustrated first letter. List of plates. This could very well have been a book that I bought mostly for its beautiful cover. Alfred Gilbert. Now, of course, we have no idea who he is. I have no idea who he is. Bronze figures. Bronze bust. Oh, so he was obviously a sculptor. 1904, that's a shot of his studio. Look how gigantic that has to be when there's a step ladder there. And it's 2.5 times the height. I wish I had enough money to buy a bronze bust of somebody or other. The paper is so nice. And with these, excuse me, with these big margins, you know, those are perfect for stamping sentiments or images on. So this may be another book to 1891. So that's the guy there. Quite a good looker. What kind of talent do you have to be able to do those things? Especially if they're so gigantic and they're actually, you know, it's not a little bronze that's sitting on somebody's table, but ones that were mayoral chain. with small dress collar, 1888. Holy cow. So I guess we should know this guy's name. Anyway, you get the gist of that. Yeah, see, he's a bit of a hunk for 1885. Head of a girl, head of an old man. Can you imagine how nice it would be to own a piece of art like that? Not so much this guy. Woman teaching child out of marble, 1879. Beautiful. Okay, here's another leather one. It seems to me, is there a pattern developing here? The ones with these interesting ribbed spines seem not to have as much integrity with holding the covers together. And this too is another one of those beveled things. So beautiful marble end papers. Oh, rag paper. Etchings, illustrative of Scottish character and scenery, executed after his own designs by the late Walter, I don't know, whoever that is. An old couple. Now, do we have a date? Oh, I hate when that happens. Yeah, this is rag paper as well. Yeah, nothing there. Again, I have to, oh, just a minute. This guy, Walter, was born in 1795, so we know that he is really old, so you'd assume that the book of his work is really, look at the foxing. Reading a tract. Great illustrations. So obviously, I will be salvaging these and scanning them. Oh, see, I thought some photos deface, so yeah. Some numbskull put a face on those two guys. Clydesdale or something similar. Oh, and colored that. Not that that really hurts in that case. It's beautiful. And so many. What a treat this book is. I should see if I need to go back to the auction house invoice and see if they were able to establish a date. I love these illustrations. So far we haven't seen anyone killing anyone. A grandchild reading. Anyway, you get the gist of this. That's lovely. Yeah, they have captions, but honestly, sometimes you can't really figure out what they're saying because of the spelling being so... I mean, a person would have to read a little bit more closely than what I'm doing here, flipping. This guy died in 1837, but of course that doesn't tell us when the book was. I'll have to see if I can get a year on this, but clearly it's old enough that I could scan it without any issues. Okay. Let me move my house of cards here. Meredith's Poems. This is a lovely book. I don't know if you... Okay, there's a butterfly landing on a thistle by the looks of it. It says Household Edition. I've been forgetting to tell you sizes. This is 7.5 by 5. Oh, lovely. So this guy, James Bliss from Iowa, must have owned it. But it says Private Library of C.F. Lewis. And return it, please, for I find that although many of my friends are poor mathematicians, most of them are good bookkeepers. In other words, they take a book and never give it back. Portrait of Lord Lytton. I see a date. 1884. Again, poetry. So the two columns are kind of nice because it makes the page layout a little more interesting. Don't know if there will be... Oh, yeah, I guess the odd illustration. Very odd illustration. And kneeling there, cried, "Let the king live forever." The sick soldier sprang up. That's almost like Peter picked a peck of pickled peppers. So it's a gorgeous little book with illustrations few and far between. Read on to the end and you'll know. Dedication to my father. Lovely little book. Okay, onward. Another, see what I mean? Another ribbed spine, another cover separating. This is leather bound, and this I think is called quarter bound, where the leather spine reaches over, well, a quarter of the way. Then there's half bound, which is further. We got an issue here. Beautiful marbling and leather reinforced corners. And this says Longfellow's Poetical Works. Beautiful. Those colors are right up my alley. There he is. We have a year. No, why would we have a year? That would be too easy. Look at that. Makes you wonder how they did it. Very dense text. Now, I would say that that's lovely paper, but it's not rag. Oh, look at those cute little birds. Are there more of those kinds of illustrations? Honestly, like, I'd say I'm no slouch when it comes to reading or understanding things, but honestly, I cannot imagine working my way through a book like this. I think poetry requires a certain talent at the best of times, and then to read and understand and absorb, there's another cute little thing, something as dense and involved and long as these are. Clearly, you know, I missed that gene when they were being handed out. $1866. Again, beautiful. That would be easy enough to disguise. This could be reinforced. Okay, remove the guts. You've got a nice wide spine, obviously to preserve the spine and have it visible. Look at this nice worn leather here. A person would have to have a hidden spine. This would be covered up with, you know, doily or lace or something. Okay, barrack room ballads. Look at that. Of course, you know I'm a sucker for burgundy. Look at those pages. Oh, funny that they're smooth on top. Beautiful. Oh, Kipling. 7.5 by 5, roughly. Color illustrations, yay! Of course, a war scene. That's beautiful. Other poem, 1899. Life of Rudyard Kipling. So, oh, why is this ribbon here? Oh, it must have been glued underneath. Oh, maybe this was it tore away here, apparently. Lovely papers. There's a chunk, oh, a couple of chunks missing there. I would say that that's rag paper as well. You can almost, well, I can, you probably can't. You can see a horizontal direction in the paper. Okay, let's see some of those illustrations. Even this whole edge here just feels so nice. Well, who doesn't like talking to an angel? Called for wine and threw, alas, each his quiver on the grass. Oh yeah, there are those quivers on the grass. This is not flipping very easily. I don't know if it's because of this paper. Why don't I look for the list of illustrations? See if they've done that. And save us all some time. Doesn't look like it. Anyway, this is one of those things that obviously I would have to go through page by page. Another battle scene. Mind you, it does refer to barracks in the title, so I guess I shouldn't be that surprised. Beautiful. I can see taking this apart and using that cover. And maybe that's what I need to, well, I have to finish some of the things I have in the works. Strand Price. Strand Bookstore. I don't know where that is. Anyway, this one is called Jan of the Windmill. 7 by... Anyway, I started to say I need to finish some of the books that I have in the works. And then start using some of these oldies but goodies. That's beautiful. Aw. Aw. 1926. Illustrated by M.V. Wheelhouse. Some sort of a bookseller in New York. Now these are the sorts of illustrations a person can embrace. People. This reminds me of sort of that that Anton Peck look that was popular during the paper toll years. You know, the very complicated, sort of brownish looking prints that had so much detail in them. Nothing like having a pig out there. Look how sweet that is. With their little slates and their little ABCs. Yes, this is a beautiful book too. There's a teeny weeny little hand there. So that's a new baby. I may find too that at some point after I got these books that I have to, oh, there's a list of illustrations, that I have to, 1884. Oh, so why is this 1926? Anyway, that I have to part with some of the covers, you know, just sell the covers. Because obviously, even if I quit doing everything else, that's a lot of... Peter the Whaler. This is very interesting. This is an embossed cover. Maybe if I hold it still, you can, and change the angle. You can see. So these are, there's a repeating design here. So 2 of them are the same. The other 3 are the same. That's beautiful too. Um, 7.5 by roughly 5. There's a ship that only Sandy could love. Peter the Whaler, his early life and adventures in the Arctic regions. Illustrated. Let's see if we can find anything to look at. Paper feels wonderful. I almost have to laugh when I see things like that because it's just so typical. Oh, okay, here we're fighting a bear. because of course it is the Arctic. Again, some of those illustrations are just too much. But isn't that sort of typical of paper? Is great, kind of that buttery feel. See another illustration coming up. She let fly her broadside right into our bows. Mid-ocean collision or attack, shall we say? Love that cover, and it's in great condition. Okay, so we're getting to the end here. Now this book, Stoddard's Lectures, this was a lot of 14 books, so I only brought one because, I mean, that would be cruel and unusual punishment to show you all 14. Burgundy leather, beautiful marbled papers, 9 by 6, roughly a 1-inch spine. And isn't that a beautiful piece of paper? It almost has well, it does have a shine to it. So it's a tiny little floral or botanical, and the viney parts are silvery. So, let me just refresh my memory here. So it seems to me at the time I was considering bidding on this, I Googled it. So 1908. Now I can't remember, I think it was 1903. So it has these beautiful old photographs, and just rich with photographs. And I can't remember if it was divided up by, it's almost like a study of the world. No, I should have picked one that I understand better. I don't know what Dolomites are. Maybe I should just quickly grab another one, but you can see that it's just gorgeous. So I think that it is, and so richly illustrated. This is like, this has been colored. The name of the French geologist who wrote these words has been bestowed not only on the mineral dolomite, which he first analyzed and described, but also on the beautiful mountains which were largely formed of the material. So we don't know what country that is in. Around Lake Garda. So I think that it would be fair to assume that I will be offering individual volumes for sale because, again, 14 books. A peasant's house near Marin. So obviously I have to put these in numerical order and figure out what's what in terms of where these places are. Again, not that it would matter. A person would be buying them for the paper, the beautiful cover, and the millions of illustrations. St. Valentine's Church. the German Protestant Church, Marin. Looking towards Italy. So I don't know if there's an overall index for the entire set or how a person would figure that part out. But again, beautiful books. And from what I can see across the room, they all look absolutely gorgeous with these gilt flowers and the integrity of. Now this obviously would need some TLC, but let me just grab one or two more just for the heck of it. Now, I am curious. Oops. California, Grand Canyon, Canon, Yellowstone Park, Egypt, Jerusalem, Constantinople, Japan, and China. So there's wear. Isn't that odd? There's wear between the two leather bits. This has a little wave in it. And again, wear there. But again, same. So, okay, this one had some water damage. No smell though. So that's Japan. Egypt. Jerusalem. Constantinople. And this is the American one. Oh, some wet there too. Yellowstone National Park. Grand Canyon. Oops. There's a tear there. Southern California. Cool. Okay. And I'm going to end with this this beautiful, I need room. Okay, this book is, I guess, 13 by 10. It says Faust. It is about an inch thick. Again, that beveled style of cover. Beautiful. Do I have room to open this up? Look at it. This feels like fabric, and in fact, I believe, and I should have pulled out that invoice. I thought that they described some as having silk. Like, to me, this feels like fabric that was glued onto paper. That's how it looks. Foxy. Look at that. Of course, it's not in English, so we're not going to know a darn thing. This is an F, believe it or not. Look at the size of these pages. some little flourishy thing there. Now, is that like Norwegian? Let me grab this from the back. So, again, same sort of beautiful end papers. I don't know, that somebody wrote something there, $49.50. So is that what the book cost initially? I'm sorry if you can't see any. I think I better grab a smaller chunk here. This is really thick. So there are some angels. Beautiful expanse of white space. This again looks like the interior of a castle or something. But look at all the space to do something wonderful. I wonder, it almost looks like a play. It's looking like these two people are alternating lines. There's a visionary thing happening there. I'm sorry my explanation of this isn't very good. I'm not sure what's going on there. A couple women needing comfort. This is lovely. She's obviously in some sort of a moment of reflection. Looking out the window wistfully. Hey, spinning wheel. Sandy. Sandy, is this you? Have your hair braided and wearing all those skirts and aprons? Ooh, a stolen smooch under the, with those couple of ladies in the background. I like obviously illustrations that have some femininity to them and less blood and gore. That's beautiful. Beautiful. Oh, this guy is looking at himself in the mirror. It would be so interesting to know what's going on. He's encircled by these little, well, those look like human bones. I don't know what these other things are. Why am I assuming they're human bones? Could be animal bones. That's gorgeous too. Oh, is this guy on his deathbed? Like, there's so much in here to explore, which of course is usually the mark of great art, that it's not self-evident at the first glance. So a little kid, a crowd scene, castles in the background, those guys up on the hill. This looks like a studio. Bellows for the fireplace. There's like a cattle skull there. a human skull there. An hourglass. Yeah, it would be great to know, excuse me, what this book was about. Or at least who Faust was. And here we are back at the beginning. I don't think, if I'm not mistaken, we didn't find a date. But again, that might be. Okay, here it says philosophy. Oh, well, I'm translating. Philosophy, justice, medicine, theology. Oh, 1874. And I guess A.K. was the illustrator. 1874. But again, these end papers in themselves, because there will be two that are obviously available, would make beautiful covers. Anyway, guys, I'm sure I've lingered on a little longer than you would have liked, but now the only thing here is there's a chunk missing out of the spine, but again, that's not a deal breaker. So I hope that you have enjoyed seeing some of these books. And, you know, as always, you can state in the comments the things you most enjoyed seeing, your favorites. And you can also watch for things, for, you know, some of these books as they get listed. Probably the easiest ones to make available will be some of these volumes, because number one, there's so many of them. And I think that practically anybody, regardless of which volume a person might get, would have enough to do here for literally months. Again, what was the year? 1908. Supplementary volume number 3. Okay, thank you so much for joining me. And as always, if you have found this enjoyable, I would appreciate it if you would subscribe, would give it a thumbs up, and make a comment, because all of those things matter to the health and viability of my channel. Thanks, guys. We'll see you in the next one. Bye.